I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network, and this is a breaking news alert. According to new reporting that is just coming across the wire, the Department of Justice believes that there are additional documents that Donald Trump is concealing at his properties or on his person other than what was discovered at Mar-A-Lago on August 8th in connection with the search warrant executed at the Mar-A-Lago. This bombshell report that just came out from the New York Times is also confirming some of the legal filings that we saw filed in connection with the district court matters before that hack judge, Eileen Cannon, in the Southern District of Florida, where the Department of Justice stated that one of the reasons they needed their top secret classified records back was because they did indeed believe there was other documents that were outstanding that Donald Trump had still not returned, and they needed to conduct their criminal investigation utilizing those classified records. Of course, the hack judge, Eileen Cannon, would not return those documents when the Department of Justice filed a motion for partial stay, but fortunately, the 11th Circuit, which was comprised of 2 Trump judges and 1 Obama judge, in a per curiam decision, meaning a unanimous decision, decided that Judge Eileen Cannon was so completely wrong, they stated it was self-evident that Donald Trump could not claim a possessory ownership, nor did he claim a possessory ownership in any of those 100 classified records. The Department of Justice has currently filed a motion to expedite the remainder of their appeal regarding the very notion that Judge Eileen Cannon asserted equitable jurisdiction in the first place. The 11th Circuit granted the Department of Justice's request there to expedite their appeal. Briefing will be completed late November, around November 17th, and oral argument likely to take place shortly thereafter. I've previously predicted here, and I'm confident to say this, that the 11th Circuit will ultimately rule that Judge Eileen Cannon should never have asserted equitable jurisdiction in the first place. But going back to this bombshell reporting that just took place from the New York Times that's breaking literally right now, Donald Trump is likely to have other records. And I think we all know he probably has other records, probably has records that he's hiding in Bedminster. He probably has records that he is hiding at the Trump Tower. He probably has documents that he is hiding in the, well, I think you know what he may be hiding those, where he may be hiding those documents. But one of the things this New York Times story references as well is one of the things we reported on, which was that there was a number of empty folders with classified designations on the folders themselves, but the contents of the folders were completely empty. And there were other folders that also said for military use, return to the military, with empty folders as well, with none of the contents in there. And so it's believed that a lot of the documents that were contained in these empty folders are among the missing folders. The Department of Justice went to Trump's legal team to explain to them. It was actually the top counterintelligence official at the Department of Justice who went to Trump's lawyers to tell them that there are likely other documents that are still outstanding. This according to the New York Times report. And the Trump camp was divided into 2 camps, one that said we should be cooperative with the Department of Justice, likely led by Christopher Kais, the Venezuelan foreign agent. I can't believe I have to say that, but this is someone who registered as a foreign agent for the Maduro regime. But he took that $3 million up front from Donald Trump's Save America organization, which itself is under investigation. Although the New York Times article didn't say which camp was cooperative, prior reporting indicates that it's likely Christopher Kais. On the other hand, we have Trump's lawyers, or so-called lawyers, Jim Trusty and Alina Habba and that other crew, which said, let's be combative with the Department of Justice and not turn over anything. According to the New York Times reporting, the group that wanted to be combative, big shocker, was the group that ultimately won out, and Trump's camp is not being cooperative with the Department of Justice. But This goes to show you why the Department of Justice also has moved so swiftly, why they immediately demanded the 100 classified records back. It also goes to show you how compromised, frankly, Judge Eileen Cannon is, which she would hamstring this investigation where our national security interests are on the line here. I mean, we need to identify what these other records are, where these other records are, and this has international implications, like we're just learning today as well. The shocking and unfortunate news, or should it be actually shocking, but definitely unfortunate news, that OPEC wants to raise the price of crude from $80 a barrel and try to decrease the supply rather by 2 million barrels to ultimately increase the price at the pump in service of Vladimir Putin, in service of the Putin MAGA alliance. Before midterms, of course, Biden and the pro-democracy coalition is going to take every step and every action to try to mitigate that. But look, we're living in a world where Jared Kushner took $2 billion recently from the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund to become a quote-unquote fund manager when Jared Kushner has no right being a fund manager. Remember the reporting where MBS, the leader of Saudi Arabia, came to the United States and bragged that he had Kushner in his pocket and that Kushner and Trump had shared confidential records of potential enemies of the state against Saudi Arabia, who Saudi Arabia then swiftly executed. Remember all the other likely intelligence that Trump and Kushner provided to the Saudis. Of course, Donald Trump is keeping these nuclear secrets and these top secret compartmented information to harm our national interest for our enemies. And this report that the Department of Justice is looking for additional records all but confirms that thesis. And we will keep you updated, of course, here on the MeidasTouch Network as there are more updates. But the big headline here, Department of Justice has conveyed to Trump's lawyers that there are likely, they are aware of more documents that they believe Donald Trump stole, more classified records that Donald Trump stole. Stay tuned. See if the Department of Justice will ultimately get a search warrant to be executed at Bedminster, to get a search warrant to be executed at Trump Tower. I am hopeful that with this Department of Justice that follows the rule of law, that is actually led by a real leader in Merrick Garland, that those steps will either be taken or in connection with the existing search warrant. The witnesses are currently guiding the Department of Justice where these other top secret, sensitive, compartmented documents may exist. But Donald Trump continuing to obstruct, continuing to try to delay, continuing to try to gaslight and derail and further engage in this criminality, harming greatly our national security interest, and the Department of Justice looking for those additional top secret records and other records that Donald Trump stole. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hey, hit the subscribe button right now. We are on our way to 1 million subs. Thanks to you. Additionally, if you want to help grow this independent media network, here's what you can do as well. Go check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. That's patreon.com/MeidasTouch. There are different membership tiers there with exclusive benefits, but most importantly, it's a way that you, no matter where you are in the world, can help be a part in an additional way to grow this independent media network. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs, It Wasn't Rigged, You're Just a Loser, at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.